y'all can S-double-E. Cause I need your eyes on me. Once I get my feet in this end zone, no one can S-T-O-P. Killer make a scene like a movie, feeling big, keep it juicy before we start getting unruly. I've been hooping like a hoolie, keep it coolie before I stuff you in a locker like a bully. Like a bully. Put in the work, you can see my fingernail dirt. I'm the last one to leave, even when I come first. Yeah, you might want it bad, but I'm sure I want it worse. I'ma do it cause I love it, I'ma love it till it hurts. What's the worst that can happen, Captain? I'm strapped in, no I'm not crazy, I'm just tapped in. Hungry like a bastard, I'm about that action, no slacking. Well, I'm sorry, Miss Jackson, cause here come the pain. No one to call up for help, no one to blame but yourself. You should've known better, however you did it, so we had to come ring your bell. Like I need a award, wait until I score, make it rain till it pour. I'm a dog on fours, put in work like a chore till I'm underneath the floor, in the trenches like a war. If they wanna give them more, when I touch down, touchdown, touchdown. Whenever I touch down, touchdown, touchdown.
We're in the so-called rock and roll capital of the world, Cleveland, Ohio, at First Energy Stadium on the shores of Lake Erie. Today, after a crazy opening weekend, it's on to week 2, and we've got a good one here between the New York Jets and the Cleveland Browns. Two teams here fresh off week 1 victories who can keep it going as we're underway on EA Sports. And we will not see a run back on the opening kickoff. This will be a touchback. Play action. It's Wilson. Steps away. And his first look is incomplete. Well, this defense for the Browns, terrific last week in the season opening victory.
Yeah, and what stood out to me on tape, the way they were flying to the football. So that tells me that they've got all their assignments down, and they're playing with extreme confidence.
First carry for the Iowa State man, Breece Hall. And from the 25, they work this to the 29, a gain of 4.
That second down play call was not to pick up the first down. It was to accomplish what they did to get them into a manageable third down because they had incompletion on first down, so they were behind the sticks, so to speak. They needed to make up some ground, and they did.
This defense looking for an early stop. This is 3rd down and 6. The gun. Here's Wilson. He's going to look deep for more. And this is going to be intercepted. Greedy Williams picks it off.
I really don't think you can fault the decision-making here because your offensive quarterback, they really had a big week last week, and you're ready for them to go again here. Not the anticipated result, of course, but you definitely understand why they did what they did. That quarterback's been hot. You want to keep the ball in his hands and see if he can keep the magic going.
On first down, they'll run with Chubb. And he'll be out of bounds just inside the 25-yard line. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5. We should mention, to go along with a great game he had last week, he was rightfully named AFC Offensive Player of the Week.
And he shares that with his offensive line, the tight end, his fullback. He's looking for more and more of that in this game.
And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. 18 yards there, and it'll be a 1st and goal.
And how nice is it for him to know that when he gets outside the pocket, he's got a reliable tight end he can go to. So he's able to look his way, find his big target, and set up 1st and goal.
They'll run. on with Chubb. And they'll be driven back here, losing yardage to the 9. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
No daylight for him to run through there, and he ran into the defensive tackle, and that guy blocks a whole lot of daylight as it is. He is truly a big man who just made a big play.
Now from the 9, here's 2nd and goal. Off of play action, it's Watson. Escaping the pressure right. To the right side, he's got Cooper. It's complete. And they'll get this from the 8 to the 5. Pickup of 3.
They kept the receiver in the short field, but that let his quarterback get the ball quickly to him before either guy in double coverage could react.
Now, they'd really like to make the short field pay off. We'll see if they can, but this is 3rd and goal. Watson now to throw. Flush to his right. And he'll just throw this one over in the way of the security crew. Incomplete here.
Oh, that's going to hurt a bit because they needed to come through with a completion there. Now a drive that started with great field position is facing 4th down.
York able to send this one through. And the Browns are out to a 3-0 lead. So an opening drive field goal maybe doesn't whip this crowd into a frenzy, but I think that they will take the early lead.
There's no doubt about it. They will always take the early lead, and maybe that celebration comes later if they play well and they can break things open. But right now, this is all about letting the offense just get settled in.
No return here for Wilson. It's a touchback. It'll come out to the 25. Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. The first time out, they had the interception. That stopped their drive 3 points the other way, so now they work from behind.
They do, but he's got to walk out on the field like he's working from ahead. All right, he's got to walk out like, hey, I just threw a touchdown pass because all eyes on his team are on him. They gain their confidence from the way he reacts, his demeanor, and how he plays. He's got to show that he has confidence in himself.
And only able to get 2 here. Stopped at the 30. Not much on that run, Charles.
No, that's exactly the way to execute a run blitz there. They guessed correctly that they would move the ball on the ground, honed in on it, and stopped them. Mark that down for a win in the defense's column.
And now a timeout called defensively by the Browns. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. And for the Browns, a nickel set here on 3rd down. Now Wilson. That's complete. It's Elijah Moore. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. Excellent play there on 3rd down. Give them 25 yards. So a 1st and 10 upcoming from Browns territory now at the 44-yard line. On 1st and 10, it's Hall. And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the 1st down run. He gets maybe 3.
Yeah, I don't know if it's exactly a win-win, but if you're on offense, you'll take that kind of a run, all right? It was kind of stacked up, found a little bit of yardage, and frankly, they're pretty close to staying on schedule on offense. The playbook is still open for the coordinator.
Now left side, a completion to his tight end. And he'll be taken down here just shy of the 30.
For a tight end, he's got good straight line speed, and on that route, he's often the guy that gets overlooked. Nice job there of finding him in stride for really good yardage.
On 1st down, Wilson. Nothing open downfield, so he'll throw it away.
Well, a momentary speed bump there with that throw partner. The defense had other ideas, and they're trying to mount a small stand before this drive reaches the end zone.
To throw once more on 2nd and 10. Wilson. And that falls to the ground, incomplete. A nice job of bodying him up defensively. And now it brings up 3rd down. This offense was on the move. Now 2 straight incompletions have them looking at 3rd and 10. Throwing again here, Wilson. And this pass broken up. And the contact well timed there. And now 4th down. So Wilson runs off, and now they will go to the man they call Greg the Leg, Greg Zuerlein. Zuerlein's kick is up and through, and that will tie us at 3-3. So the scoring drive encompasses 9 plays, and the net result, 3 points.
Take your disappointment and put it aside. 9 plays. Yeah, they want to end up in the end zone with a touchdown. I get that. But sometimes those 9-play drives pay dividends later with another 9-play drive that culminates in a touchdown when they wear down a defense.
The Browns' drive about to get started. Their drive last time, it stalled out. They were forced to take the short field goal.
And the key phrase, you nailed it. Forced to, because you know coaches look at these short field goals as a last resort, right? To them, that's not how drives are supposed to end. You're supposed to put 6 on the board. That's a consolation prize. Like going to the county fair, you don't get the big stuffed animal on that one, do you?
No, you don't go top shelf. That's bottom shelf material. The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26. Here's Watson. And that'll be incomplete. He was looking for the Michigan Wolverine, Donovan Peoples-Jones. And it's 3rd down. They'll come to the line here needing 9 yards to pick up the first. Watson off play action. Looking for Cooper, and it's intercepted. And he brings this one back. It's a pick 6 and a Jet touchdown. For the defense, they were all over that. As soon as that ball was in the air, it was dangerous. Not only was it intercepted, CD, but they return it for the touchdown.
Yeah, and he read that the entire way. He was reacting before other players had a chance to react themselves. Had the determination to say, this just won't be a pick. It's going to be 6 points as he takes it the other way to the end zone.
Zuerlein connects on the extra point, and the lead is now 10-3. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. Trying to get one more in here before the quarter breaks. They start on the ground with Nick Chubb. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. 10-3 our score after one here on EA Sports. A good gain on first has him set up with 2nd and just a couple of inches now from the 29. They run it again with Chubb. And he's going to have a Browns first down as he's got this up to the 40-yard line. The Browns are 1-0 on the year following the win in Week 1, and they were able to get that road victory in the opener, and now they look to get to 2-0 in front of the home crowd.
And look, any road win in the NFL, that's huge. But when you do it Week 1, that gets you pointed in the right direction and sends notice to the rest of the league that you mean business.
And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. John Franklin Myers, the one in there to drop him. Well, he was really focused downfield, but there was really no viable options. The coverage was too good.
And the defense really quickened the tempo of that play with their pass rush because there was nowhere for him to go with the football. The only place he ended up, down on the ground.
They get 2 yards back, but they're going to need a lot more than that here on 3rd down.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Throw left side, caught by the tight end, Njoku. And that's going to be another first down as the tackle made at the Jets' 42. That was no 3rd and 2. That was 3rd and 16, but they get the conversion anyway.
And this was a nice example of an offensive coordinator scheming his guy open. Just a little underneath route, just trying to free up some space, and it worked awfully well. Got him not just space, but plenty of room to run after the catch to pick up really nice yardage. Well, sometimes you just have to give credit to the defense. Great job there at the point of attack, holding up. They won their battles at the line of scrimmage, left him no space to try and run. A really nice job swarming to the ball carrier.
Faking the give. Now Watson. And I think that one might have been intercepted, but he will be ruled out of bounds. So this will go only as incomplete. So he's 3 for 7 throwing the football right now. Not an awful start, but also not the sharpest of starts.
No, I would agree with that. But if you're a confident quarterback and to play that position you have to be, you just act like there's something wrong with the wind currents or something wrong with the ball.
It is not you. Keep throwing. That timing usually develops.
Eluding the pressure right. Oh, the ball is out. Watson lost it.
Much like a running back going through the line, quarterbacks have to be aware of protecting the football as well. He left it exposed that time, wound up having it knocked free, but fortunately, had an alert teammate who was able to get it.
And Chubb will try the middle here. And he works his way free all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone. They get 10 more there, and I believe that'll be enough for another first down. It will.
On any explosive run, you can almost feel the ground shaking, and that's from the offensive linemen creating space for their runners. I had an old coach tell me before that he always told his runners, run around the offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking so you don't trip and fall when it happens in a game.
And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. 15 more there, and they're on a roll. It's another first down. Of course, he was solid last week. AFC Offensive Player of the Week award. 2 touchdowns in that game.
Yeah, he's playing at a level right now where he's just breaking down defenses. Makes me remember when I was playing and my defensive back coach told me, listen, if you give up a touchdown pass, that's on me. I didn't coach you well enough. If you give up a second one, that's on you. And if there's a third one, I'm getting someone else in the game.
Back at the 5-yard line now. 2nd and goal. They'll try again with Chubb. And this time they were ready for him as they'll stop him right at the line of scrimmage. It'll go down as a 2-yard loss, and it brings up a 3rd down.
Good job over there, baby. I see y'all. Good job over there, baby.
Now Watson on 3rd and goal. Forced out to his left. Oh, hit as he throws there, incomplete. Well, so a drive that spans all that time, and yet you may only come away with 3 points here.
Well, your defense, all right, they actually like these long drives. They get to rest over on the sidelines for a while. But when you're not finishing with points in terms of touchdowns, that's frustrating. They've got to figure out how to close out these long drives and get 6s instead of 3s.
And Wilson is perfectly content to bring this out to the 25, a touchback. Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. And they split the uprights last time for 3. They've got the lead. They're not going to play this conservative. They're not hoping for enough. Wilson hit. It's loose. It's out. Fumble. And this is picked up by the Browns. And they will take over at the 26-yard line. A disappointing end of the sequence there. He was starting to turn nothing into something, and then he lost the football.
And sometimes things get lost in the transition. And what I mean by that is you go from being a passer to a runner. And at a certain point, once you cross the line of scrimmage, you're strictly a runner now. There's no more downfield threat. Make sure you take care of the football while you're traversing downfield.
Making the play defensively, Carl Lawson.
Yeah, things were pretty stacked up there in the middle of the line. A lot of bodies, not much space. I think ultimately he was fortunate to get anything out of that run.
On 2nd and 9, Watson. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
Well, there's an incompletion, partner, and the struggles through the air continue because so far their lack of passing production has led to a lack of points.
And that's going to be caught by Peoples-Jones. And he does not get to the first down marker as they stop him at the 19. Watson will step away, and out comes Cade York to handle this fourth down field goal try for the Browns. York able to send this one through, and that gets him back within a single point. It's now 10-9. So the fumble recovery had them set up in ideal field position, but they can muster only 3 points out of it.
Yeah, when you're able to force turnovers, especially when it results in field position like they had, you really want to make it hurt. Here, they take the field goal. That's definitely not what they were hoping for.
Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. It was still more than a minute to go in the half. Time to try to mount a drive.
And I would think that they would have to. This is today's NFL. You got to push it whenever you get an opportunity. You can never have enough points with the high-powered offenses that you face. And analytics will tell you, try and score when given the opportunity.
From the 30 on second down, Wilson. And on the left sideline, he caught it, but out of bounds, according to the head linesman. Incomplete, so the ball a little late getting there, and it's third down. They come up now 3rd and 5 following the incomplete pass. Wilson. And that's going to be incomplete. The coverage too good there. The contact popped the ball free, and it's 4th down. On 4th down, here's Brett Kern to punt the football away. Back deep, Jakeem Grant. They only punted twice in the win last week as he gets this one away. Pulled in at the 24. A little juke. A very nice punt that time, but they get 11 back on the return. And control of the football switching hands with very little time remaining until the half. The Cleveland offense ready to go. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
And now this one may draw a penalty. He just blindly threw that one to the sideline. And, yep, indeed, the flag is out. They lose the yardage, and, of course, they also lose the down on the grounding call, and it's quickly 2nd and long. They'll indeed try to run it out as they start on the ground. And able to stay on his feet past the 30 to about the 33-yard line. And unless this is a quick incompletion, this is likely the last play here of this first half. One more time, they'll keep it on the ground. And so down the numbers. There he goes. The 20. And he's in for the touchdown on the final play of the first half. The prayer is answered.
How did they get that done?
Heck of a start to his season. He had 2 touchdowns in the opener last week, another one here in week 2.
Well, I don't want to call him a touchdown machine this early, but sometimes you get locked in, and you feel good about things. You get into that zone, and those touchdowns come in bunches. He may be off to that kind of a start.
It's like he was shot out of a cannon. I would imagine success this early, great momentum going forward for the rest of the year.
He keeps this up, they'll soon be chanting MVP anytime he touches the ball.
Browns are going to get the second half kickoff, and they've got this lead as well as we are back and underway. And here's Jakeem Grant from his end zone. And they'll get him down right at the 25-yard line, so the same result, and he opted for the touchback. The Browns drive about to get started.
And they've got the lead. CD, what do you think the message was at halftime?
I don't think the message was too drastic, I think, at the half, or that they need to change things too much. I do think the offensive line could play a little bit better. I think they'll try and help them out more. They'll probably keep the tight end in a few more times and maybe add a running back to the formation and pick up those pass rushers, because they probably allowed a few too many sacks for comfort in the first half.
Key tight end, key tight end. Hey, we got 3 down. 29.
Now a play fake, and it's Watson. Rolling to his left. He'll be taken down. The Jets get in there for the sack. It looks like a 12-yard loss there on the first down sack. That huge loss on the sack makes this job much more difficult. It's now 2nd down and 22 yards to go. Up the middle, it's Chubb. Oh, he's got some breathing room. And he'll get it down to the 47 here.
120 yards for him on the ground now, as he has been terrific here this afternoon.
In need of a conversion on 3rd down. They had the big play to start the drive. Not much sense. They'll fake the handoff. Now Watson.
Oh, that's into a sea of bodies, and it's intercepted. Sauce Gardner puts it off. And the Jets are going to have the football here at their own 35-yard line.
So it was a drive that had real promise here to begin the 3rd quarter, but ultimately derailed by the INT.
And that was the position you wanted to be in. Coming out to start this 3rd quarter, get a nice drive going, looking for the end zone. Possibly got a little bit too greedy right there.
The linebacker, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, on the tackle.
Well, that's just a pile of bodies there, and that's when you kind of find out who's a tough guy, right? Who can stand up and make a play. It was only a 3-yard run, but for both sides, they had to walk away from that feeling like, okay, I can stand up when the going gets tough in here.
Pressure comes, and Wilson's going to go down. In for the sack, Myles Garrett.
Even for a guy who many believe has become the standard in the league, Myles Garrett's 2021 was special. 16 sacks set a team record, and we're 3rd in the NFL, and he made first-team All-Pro to the surprise of no one.
That is caught. It's Uzomah. Fourth down. Here's Wilson. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. Boy, a curious decision to go for it. Doesn't pan out. And the Browns are going to get this thing back. Excellent field position.
Let's get off the field. Check 52. 44 is the mark.
They go up the middle with Chubb, and he's dropped right at the 40. Gain of 3.
Give credit to the defense for stringing that play out, and they gave up no cutback angle. You know he was trying to dart through. No place for him to go. A nice job there, only giving up a 3-yard gain.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. Watson. Drops it off for Chubb. They'll wind up losing 3 here on the play. And that brings up 3rd and a full 10 yards.
I really like the angles that the tacklers came from on that play. They secured inside, took away the cutback. The sideline's there, so you can only go so far outside. And they were able to close in and tackle him for a loss.
Yeah, they used your boy over there, the 12th man. Sammy Sideline, right?
Sammy Sideline. You know something? He tackles pretty well, too.
He's tougher than an airport steak. And incomplete. He had nowhere to throw, so he just tossed it away. But that brings up 4th. So look at this. Here's the field goal unit coming out. And he is going to need to bomb this one.
York able to send this one through. Charles, even as long field goals become more and more common, this is still a very rarefied air. Only just over 20 field goals have been kicked from 60 yards or further, and you can add his name to the list now.
and as calm as he tried to present himself. There's no doubt there were some nerves as he lined up to attempt that kick. But once the ball was snapped, he just swept the leg and boom, over the crossbar.
Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. And here we are almost through 3 quarters of play, and this passing game still has not really found any kind of rhythm.
Put it mildly, because they're not even over 100 yards yet. And in today's NFL, where it's a pass-first league, that is quite surprising. Not many teams patient enough to stick with the run. Everybody wants to advance the ball through the air. They've got to get their timing back.
Throwing on 2nd and long. Wilson. And pressure coming, and they got him once again. Myles Garrett able to get in there for his 2nd sack of the afternoon. So now Wilson and the Jets with a 3rd and long here following the sack. Throwing on 3rd and long. Wilson going to look deep for Wilson. And unable to connect. Incomplete. I'll give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down. Here's Brett Kern now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. We'll call it a 42-yard punt, 3 on the return. And the Browns will take over, 1st and 10. The Cleveland offense ready to go. Last time out, you remember their drive stalled, but thanks to their kicker, booted a long field goal to at least get them 3. Now here they'll try to do better and find the end zone.
And in our experience, how much fun is it for coaches to know that they've got a kicker who can nail it from long distance? Now, the hard part is, as an offensive play caller, you don't want that in your head too much where you're relying on it, and he goes out and gets the job done for them. But I'm quite sure he would be content to just kick extra points from here on out.
Yeah, absolutely, no question. I think his teammates would be okay with him just kicking the extra points as well.
And some room to work. And all the way in. Touchdown, Cleveland. Nick Chubb, his 3rd rushing touchdown on the year. And the Browns will add on to their lead here in the final minute of the 3rd. Well, he was already over 100 yards running the football prior to this play, but this run may be his best yet.
I've got to agree with you on that one. We're looking at a guy running with extreme confidence, running in harmony and sync with his blockers, all of them kind of moving as one, and look at the end result. Big plays.
And he is into the end zone again, so get him some oxygen. He scores on the long run and then punches in the 2-point conversion for good measure. The Browns kicking team out there now as they'll send this one away.
No return here for Wilson. It's a touchback. It'll come out to the 25.
Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive.
I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
He rifles one that's intercepted.
Picked off by Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah.
And he takes this one back into the end zone. And the Browns defense has a touchdown.
The York on now for the extra point.
And the lead is now 24. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6. And now the kick is away.
And Wilson is perfectly content to bring this out to the 25, a touchback. Wilson leading the Jets up now for a 1st and 10.
At their 25-yard line. Back to the air, Wilson after the pick 6. Open man here is Conklin. And he's going to be dropped following a pickup of 7 past the 30 to the 32. And as they come to the line, they will not be able to get off another play as time has run out on this 3rd quarter. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
They lead big, and a major part of that has been how they've taken their play to a whole new level this second half. No points allowed since the break, and you can add another incompletion to the total number that they forced in this runaway contest.
They'll run with Hall. And he's going to have the first down, yardage to the 35. Work to do here to avoid falling to 1-1, but this is 1st and 10 right now. Throwing is Wilson. He's got a man. It's his tight end. That's complete. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. 19 yards there on the catch and run. So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this second half. Here's 1st and 10. They go play action now. Wilson. And he'll get this into the hands of Braxton Berrios. And he takes this just a few yards shy of the red zone before going out. They'll throw on 1st down with Wilson. Open man is Uzama. And they take him down, losing yardage back at the 27. To throw again on 2nd down. Wilson throwing the out route and complete. That's Wilson. And he'll be taken down at about the 22-yard line. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
On 3rd down, Wilson. This one left side caught by Berrios. Here we go. It's Wilson on 4th down. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. The Jets try it, but the 4th down play doesn't work. And this Browns defense stands tall. The Browns drive about to get started. Been a very strong performance for them, really, on both sides of the football. The turnover on downs, the most recent example, and now, obviously, they're in a great spot here.
If you're over on the bench right now, you're shaking hands with your teammate, you're hugging him, give him a little dap. Been a big, big performance for them. Now you just don't get careless. Take care of the ball on the way out.
Boy, 184 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long. A good gain on 1st, has him set up with 2nd and just a couple of inches now from the 29. A first carry now for Kareem Hunt, and they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. Only a gain of a yard, but that's all they needed. Now Watson. That's out to Chubb, complete. A solid stiff arm. And he is finally forced out of bounds inside the 30-yard line. A big play that time for Cleveland. 42 yards. Boy, another big play late here for an offense, Charles, that certainly has had its fair share of big plays.
Coverage has been a problem all game long, and I would say that going along with that has been confidence. Because even if they had the right coverage, they've still dented them, and now it's been a real issue for them during this game.
On 1st down, they'll run with Hunt. Down at the 25.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where there'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. From the 25 on 2nd down, Watson flushed out right, and seeing nowhere to throw, he chucks this one away from harm, incomplete. Now it's 3rd down. Well, 4th quarter with a 3-score lead here, Charles, but they're still going back to the air and looking for more points.
Well, with this game well in hand, it's an opportunity for the guys to come off the bench and get a chance to play. And a lot of coaches, they want to run their full playbook no matter who's on the field.
Throwing on 3rd down, Watson. Escaping the pressure right.
And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals. Looking like they're well on their way to a 2-0 start. All smiles right now on that sideline, isn't it?
As well there should be. It's hard to win a game in the NFL. We hear it all the time. We know that it's difficult. But guess who's smiling? But inside is thinking 24-hour rule because we're going to have to play again next week.
Boss man.
Oh, without a doubt. The head coach, he wants them to feel good, but at the same time, find a way to keep improving.
No return here for Wilson. It's a touchback. It'll come out to the 25. Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. Well, it's been a struggle so far for this offense, Charles. It's not only that they haven't been able to put the points up, but really stringing yards together has been a real issue for them in this one.
I'm so glad you brought up the yardage because I was thinking to myself, we've seen a lot of NFL games and we've seen our share of lopsided contests, but in almost all of them, both offenses have put up at least 200 yards in a game, but not in this one. This has been a display of offense that, frankly, I think the two of us have watched from behind our hands, trying to spread our fingers wide enough to actually see the result.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. Here's Wilson. Got an open man. That's C.J. Uzomah. They'll try and throw for it with Wilson. And able to connect with Berrios. The Jets are going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the game. So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this second half. Here's 1st and 10. Wilson will throw again. They'll roll him out right. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Now another timeout called for by the offense as the clock will stop with 35 seconds left to go. Another try after the first down sack. Wilson. That's caught by his tight end, Uzomah. And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line. They'll give him 4 yards there. And they're going to face an uphill battle here on 3rd and long. Now it's Wilson. Ball had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
Single receiver. Hey, you're on an island over there. Single.
They're going on 4th down. It's Wilson. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and that will force a turnover on downs. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. The Browns in victory formation now as they take the knee. So Cleveland able to come away with the victory here.
Well, on one side of this, Charles, an impressive victory. On the other, I mean, you think about it, they scored in the first quarter, but then they didn't score in quarters 2, 3, or 4. They're going to have a lot of work to do before stepping back on the field.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting tape to analyze, won't it? Because why did it work in the first quarter, but nothing in quarters 2, 3, and 4? So we always talk about adjustments. You don't just wait till halftime. You do it series to series. They'll be working on that in preparation for their next game.
So for the Browns, it's a win here in their home opener as they move to 2-0. And they'll get to stay home again next week as the Pittsburgh Steelers come to town. Meanwhile, for the Jets, they'll fall to 1-1. And they'll be back home next week as they're set to take on the Cincinnati Bengals. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports.